Might as well use the restroom while I can, huh?
We're already live. That's the
Oh
first line.
shoot!
That's the first line. What is up, everybody? It is I, Ghost, the host with the most. Your ghost host. Oh my god! Whatever. We're good.
This is amazing.
I was just like setting up everything in levels, and and like, I might as well use the restroom.
Happy to pee here. I mean, be here.
So this wasn't the type of shit you wanted to talk about, was it? What is up, everybody? I am here. I am joined with my good friend, crazy Old Maurice. Go ahead and say hello.
Hello there.
Hello there. Now, and there is so much talk coming towards to the new Star Wars movie. I don't even want to say movie because there's a chance that this might become movies, and it's just one part, which split into two. And I just want to know your take on the whole situation.
My take on the whole situation was one that I didn't even hear about it.
What?
So
you didn't hear? Or you didn't hear?
No, I didn't. I honestly didn't. So they're trying to turn it into like two different movies?
Yeah, so that's
what is this, the Twilight series?
This is what I'm saying. Is Disney trying so hard to please us after Last Jedi that they're gonna completely change the Star Wars formula?
Change it how?
Because before, it was episode 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Then you got your Star Wars stories, and then you got like 7,
8, and then now the 9, but they're trying to add in a 10 now?
No, not 10, but like 9 point, like 9.1 and 9.2, basically.
What?
Basically how Avengers,
Yeah, but that's different because Avengers 4 isn't gonna be like, I mean, it's obviously gonna be a continuation, but it's like not gonna be called Avengers 4. It's gonna be called something else.
Right.
Avengers 3 wasn't even called Avengers 3. It was called Avengers Infinity War. I mean, they're not even called like Avengers 1, Avengers 2, Avengers 3, or anything like that. They're their own movies.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to say. Is like it's Star Wars Episode 9 being split into 2. So it's like Star Wars Episode 9, Star Wars Episode 9 Breaking Dawn. That's the way I see it, and it just I don't know if I'm liking this.
Well, I mean, you know how much I hated the last. Well, I didn't hate The Last Jedi. It was still very enjoyable, but it just wasn't like fulfilling whatsoever. So I guess you can say I basically didn't like it. Well, I didn't like it. I mean, it was enjoyable to watch, but it wasn't like I was dying to see it like 300 times like I was with Rogue One, or like Force Awakens. Force Awakens I thought was amazing, but The Last Jedi was just like a nothing movie. Like nothing happened in it. So if they're trying to make up for everything that The Last Jedi didn't give us, how are they gonna do that? Because there's already so much that wasn't answered in The Last Jedi.
Right.
It's just, I don't see how they're going to do that. Just I don't know. I'm at the point right now, like, I'm still gonna go see Star Wars when it comes out, but it's just like, like, it's one of those things where like I don't have to see it like the day it comes out, because of The Last Jedi. Like The Last Jedi, I remember like all the fires were going on in California and everything like that, and I still drove all the way to Camarillo to get my tickets to make sure we had them so we can go see it. And when they come out with this new one, I'm just kind of like,
Yeah, well, see,
I don't know.
With me, like, I stayed up. Well, not stayed up, but like I remember I had the day off to be able to watch the day they premiered the first teaser trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember being so hyped. I literally, like, I did not let my mom like go run errands because I wanted her here, because I wanted her to see this. I was like, you have to be here. Like, I was so hyped for it. And like then they dropped that poster where Rey, like, she looks all He-Man, with her hand in the air.
Yeah.
That poster was so beautiful, and then we got the movie, and it was just so like,
disappointment.
Like, what the fuck was this?
Yeah, seriously, like we talk about it every time. It was just a space chase when in every other movie they go from like this planet to the next planet in like a matter of seconds, you know, like 20 minutes will go by and they'll already visit like 6 planets.
Yeah, and the timeline's like, you know, like I don't even know. I don't even know what the timeline. It felt like Rey was on the planet with Luke for so many days, but yet the space chase was like the same day.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's exactly what felt like too. Because like, that whole movie was just annoying, and that whole scene where she drops into like that cave or something. Like, what the hell was that? Like, that was pointless. Yeah. I was like, what the heck? Are we in a jazz club or something? Like, you know how they
slam poetry.
But for real though, like it was just one long space chase, and you know, like they totally missed an opportunity to, you know, take out Princess Leia, like honorably. You know, like she could have, General Holdo could have taken over for Princess Leia, and Princess Leia could have died, you know, like with honor, you know, saving everybody and everything. You know, they could have done that, but no, they made her look like Superman.
Right. And then there were so many things I would have done differently, like bringing everybody talks about Kylo Ren being saved. Like Leia was talking to Han about it, and that's why Han gave his life, because he was trying to save Ben. Because I feel he knew that if he couldn't do it himself, Snoke would kill Kylo because he would be useless.
Yeah.
So
I like that theory a lot.
Yeah, there's a theory where in that scene where he's in his TIE fighter and he's with 2 other TIE fighters, and they're shooting at the ship where she goes flying.
Yeah.
He couldn't pull the trigger, but if one of the other TIE fighters would have, I really wanted him to lose it, and that's what would have him betray Snoke.
Yeah. I would have liked that. Yeah, I would have liked that a lot better than what we got, because like Adam Driver, he's a really good actor. You know, you see a lot of emotion in his face, and you know, he just portrays that really well. And I love the memes of emo Kylo Ren. You know, they're hilarious. They're hilarious. But it's just, they missed a lot of opportunities with this movie, and it's just, you know, I could go on for days talking about this movie.
Luckily, we have time.
I know, but like, I don't know, like, dude, it's just completely missed opportunity there, and it's just, it sucks because, you know, like, I've loved these movies for years and years. My stepdad showed them to me. I was super stoked for them and everything, and it's just like they kind of just, I don't know, like they dropped the ball on it, in my opinion. I know that a lot of people were like half the people that saw the movie were ecstatic about it, and then the other half were like, what the fuck? But, you know, just, I'm on the side of like, what the fuck? Because when we and Darlene walked out, we were just like the thing when we go to the movies is like afterwards I'm like, how did you like it? And then she was like, like she, it was kind of like almost as if like she was like trying not to say that she didn't like it as much, but she wanted to, and then I just like told her I was like meh about it, you know? And then she was like, yeah. And it's just, I'm really disappointed with that movie, and so it really does make me wonder how they're gonna come out with like 9 and then like 9.5, right, or whatever. So I'm wondering, like, obviously they're gonna take down Kylo Ren because he just went rogue and he already killed Snoke and everything like that, but like, what direction do you think they're gonna take it, like story wise? Like, what do you think will happen?
See, that's the thing, because like this, okay, so the whole time we were expecting Snoke to be this grand villain because that's the way they portrayed him in The Force Awakens, I thought Snoke was gonna have more meaning. Because how did someone out of nowhere gain to the amount of power, pretty much bigger than Palpatine? Because he had, okay, Palpatine had armies and everything, and like a Death Star, but you know, Snoke had a planet, a full fucking weaponized planet, and they didn't utilize it because, well, I mean, they used it what, once, and they kill off the whole Senate and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they did utilize it, but what I'm saying is, like, how did he become to that level of power? How did he gain this power? And we honestly...
New fighter has entered the ring. What's up, guys? This is great.
Oh, shit. A new challenger.
Oh, yeah, new challenger. My bad. She fucked that one up. Hey, I don't have a Nintendo yet.
I heard like a little ding, and I was like, what is that?
Yeah, I thought it was your mic.
I thought that was you.
No, but welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Talking Star Wars.
My bad for being late. I was
Thank you.
A little busy entertaining family, but what's up, guys? What's the topic? What did I miss?
Well, so far we're just talking about how Star Wars might be split into two, and we're giving our explanation, like what do we think the story's gonna, where do we think it's gonna drive. So what I'm saying is,
wait a minute, hold on, Star Wars splitting up to two?
What? Even Maurice didn't know that.
Catch me up on this.
So with the story being so fucked up from The Last Jedi, and Disney wanting to please all of us, this movie might be the longest movie in history. So this Star Wars could be like 4 hours, or it could be split into two movies.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Splitting. Oh, okay, part 1, part 2. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that.
See.
I don't know how to feel about most part 1, part 2 movies.
Like, they're changing the Star Wars formula, but will it be a bad thing if it does well?
Hell no, it won't be a bad thing if it does well. Why would that be a bad thing?
Because it's just breaking tradition, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's true. It would be breaking tradition. But, like, they're already trying to do that anyways with the Skywalker lineage. They're trying to kill it off. You know? Yeah. I mean, it kind of basically already is.
Yeah, they done broke it already, so...
Yeah, so it's might as well try and take it in a new... You know Disney, they're going to do everything for $1. They're the Mr. Krabs of the
Me $1 million!
Disney pull up. Let me hold $1. You know?
That's basically it. But... I don't know. Okay, so what I was saying is, I was just so disappointed with the whole Snoke storyline. But I mean, there's always that theory of, since he was a Dark Force user, and was he able to transfer his power into a younger, stronger body, or
Hugh Hefner?
Yeah, basically,
dude. That guy looked like Hugh Hefner in The Last Jedi when they're in that room where they fight.
Hugh Hefner now though, decayed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Too soon. Too soon.
R.I.P. my dude.
So
but he did.
You're talking about the kid at the end?
No.
Or how, what do you mean? Or yes?
I'm just saying in general, like just transferring his power into a younger body. Because there's theories out there that to become stronger with the Force than anyone, he gave himself, that way he can become a Force Ghost. Because again, Yoda is a Force Ghost, but yet he was able to become powerful, and it was able to burn that tree without problem.
Yeah.
He called lightning. Like, that's pretty powerful as a ghost. So if Snoke knows that you can come back and have that amount of power, maybe not be limited of it.
Yeah, I do like that. I do like all the theories, but with the last movie, when they made us theorize, it just seems like Snoke is just one of those characters where the fans got way out of hand and started making all these theories, and then when they didn't deliver, now we're upset.
But it's a necessary theory though, because we don't know how he became that powerful.
Yeah,
trust me, I want it.
It's...
I want it to, but I just. They already let me down, right? Like they already did.
Yeah, they already let us down, but the fact is that they built him up so much.
They also built up the Knights of Ren, and we didn't see them once, but in a flashback.
it would just make The Last Jedi even worse movie if they take back, they're like they kind of backtrace and now they give us a Snoke story. Which I do still want.
They can't.
I do want it.
They can't backpedal at all because
Yeah.
it's already over. They should have done that with. They had the whole opportunity of doing that with The Last Jedi, but did they? No, obviously not.
Like,
they just made it about one long space
back.
chase.
Yeah, it was a.
The only thing missing from The Last Jedi was that they freaking had hydraulics on their free spaceships, so they'd be like bouncing this thing to freaking like electric freaking. I don't even remember the song. Electric Avenue, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna rock down to Electric Avenue,
and then we take it higher. See, that's the only thing missing in that movie. Like, all my friends know the low rider. Like, that was the only thing missing.
Jesus, it's just they can't backpedal now
like,
with what Snoke was, unless they do that theory that Carlos is talking about, where like he transfers his like force powers into like a younger body. If they do that, then yes, they're gonna have to go back and tell us where he came from, how he came to power, and everything like that. But as of right now, with The Last Jedi and how they hyped him up so much with The Force Awakens, and then they just killed him off in The Last Jedi. Super easy, by the way. If you have that much power and you have the will to read somebody's mind, wouldn't you be able to tell that he was doing that? If you had all that power that was hyped up with him, wouldn't you be able to tell?
Straight up facts.
I honestly would want a Snoke story, like its own storyline. But that's what I'm saying. Like, do we need it to be a part of like the next movie of the Star Wars? Continue the story and the Skywalker. Like, do we? Because when they made The Force Awakens, they didn't intend for him to be that big. They just thought he was just gonna be another villain instead of Kylo Ren. And fuck, we fell in love with him more than Kylo Ren already. We made all these fake theories about him, and I just don't see them doing it. I just like if they were gonna do it, they would have done it already with The Last Jedi instead of just like the Knights of Ren. We didn't even get that, and I don't think we're gonna. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, they would have already given that to us. Yeah. They might make a whole movie by themselves dealing with fucking snorting, whatever his fucking name is.
Snorlax. Snowflax.
Snoke. Yeah,
dude.
I don't think they're going to move on with the Snoke story. They probably won't. I mean,
I would love it.
See, but in the novelization of The Last Jedi, when after Rey leaves the planet with Luke, Last Jedi just messed me up so much I don't even know the name of the planet anymore. She leaves that planet, and then Luke's by himself, and he gets visited by a dark Force ghost, which we were intended to believe through all these years that if you were a dark Force user, that you can never come back as a Force ghost. But in the novelization, it shows that he's talking to a dark entity, and like he's having a conversation saying that like, I couldn't become this powerful or something like that. Like, so with that, like, why is it like, fucking Rian Johnson? Why don't you just like give us that? Like,
yeah, just give the people what we want.
For real, because I mean, like,
this is why I didn't like them doing these 3 movies apart, like with new scripts after the next one. They didn't all agree and sit down and like, yeah, we're all gonna do this script, and we're all gonna follow this story. Like, they had to come in the middle and just fuck shit up, and
yeah.
And the thing is that the J.J. Abrams wasn't even supposed to be the director for this one.
The last,
but I'm so happy he's returning, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's one of the only ones that can save it.
Save us, J.J. Abrams. You're our only hope.
But wasn't he like the fan favorite?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the fan favorite for the new Guardians of the Galaxy director? Isn't that what everybody wants now? Is J.J. Abrams as the director for the Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
I wouldn't want that, but he would be the next one. If it is not going to be
James Gunn.
James Gunn, then JJ for sure.
I think it's got to be James Gunn. But going back to Star Wars topic, because this is a Star Wars podcast.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know who was even considering what I believe Simon Pegg wanted in too.
Ooh.
Another topic. James Gunn all the way though. I'm not going back on that. James Gunn all the way. They did him so dirty. They did him so wrong. But okay. Before we go on topic.
We're back.
Next podcast, we're talking about it because I have a lot to say about that too.
For the actual Nerd Squad podcast, we will bring that topic up.
We'll bring that one back.
But back to Star Wars, and okay. So another thing, I know we got off topic for a while, but where do we leave off with Leia? Okay, if we're using unused footage from Last Jedi for Leia in this one, what are we gonna do with her? Just be like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom, and then she never comes back? Like, I don't know, man. Like,
you know when not Infinity War. You know when Avengers 2 came out and it was just ass, and then they gave us a Civil War, and it was like their apology letter, and they kind of like it was like an Avengers movie, but it wasn't. It was Captain America's movie. I feel like that's what's gonna happen with this one. If you're saying it's gonna be a part 1 and a part 2, I feel like the part 1 is gonna be that apology letter, like, yo, like we kind of messed it up. Here's the Ren of Knights, whatever. Here's his backstory. Here's whatever you guys wanted. Here's Knights of Ren. Here's a little theory kind of confirmed, like you guys busted it, you know. And I feel like the part 2 is gonna be like now all the wow factors, if they are gonna go with that, because it kind of sounds like they might be going with the adventure formula. Oh, we fucked it up. Let's make a really good movie, apology movie. That would have been the one in that place.
If they're gonna make a Star Wars movie with like a separate like Snoke story, my advice to them would be go on the internet and look up some fan fiction and pick one.
Yeah, seriously, like and it wouldn't be too bad, dude, because like the internet nowadays, it got so that shit was a fucking wildfire. All those theories, like that shit was fucking insane.
Like, there are so many theories.
Theory. Yeah, and they were all freaking good, man.
Yeah, there's like
one of them to be true.
Be like Game of Thrones with the Hodor situation, you know? Like Game of Thrones, man. The guy whose name was Hodor, and he couldn't say any other word than his name, and it tells you why in the episode where he dies. Spoiler alert for anybody that watches Game of Thrones, but if you haven't gotten that far, then honestly, what are you doing? But
I haven't started season 1.
In one of the episodes, it explains why he says his name like that, and you know, like, I'm pretty sure like that was a fan fiction thing, and the way they delivered it was amazing. So people who are writing and directing the next Star Wars movie, just go with that. Go crazy. You could even like intertwine like different ones together. It doesn't matter as long as like you give some people what they want, because with The Last Jedi, like that was just a disappointment.
So what you're saying with what you're saying right there, the whole Game of Thrones thing and the perfect writing, the actual writer, I don't know if it's the writer, yeah, the directors, I believe, the directors of Game of Thrones, they're getting their own trilogy of Star Wars to direct.
Yeah, I know, I heard that.
So
I heard about that, and I was like, please be super bloody.
Yes, that's the thing we need, is that one of the things that we fell in love with Star Wars, and the reason that we like still love it, is we got introduced to fucking lightsabers.
I mean, flame. Oh my god!
You're not gonna see any blood really, because they're lightsabers. Well, I mean, once you cut something off, the blood burns. But still,
you're basically like, what's the word? I forgot. Where you burn it so it doesn't bleed.
Cauterize.
There's the one. I'm telling you, today's just been a long day, but still.
My sister's a doctor, almost.
So understandable. But okay, so
dude, like,
the thing that we're lacking in these movies are lightsaber battles. Okay, people don't like the prequels, but fuck, did they have some good lightsaber battles?
Maybe they're thinking along the lines of Indiana Jones, where he's like gonna get in that fight with the guy who has like the crazy swords, and he's just spinning him around, trying to be all fancy and whatever. And Indiana Jones just pulls out his gun and just
put my gun.
Maybe they're thinking like that.
The day he was sick for the calves for his job, he just pulled out his gun.
His blaster.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time to be fighting.
See, I don't know, man. Wait, so what? back to the story. Okay, what do we see Kylo Ren being redeemed into the light, or do we see him going out as a Dark Force user?
Oh, Dark Force user, please let them win this time. I don't want the Jedi's to win. Not again.
See, if he wins, though,
die.
if he wins, if Kylo Ren survives this, the Skywalker lineage lives. If he dies, Skywalker lineage is over.
Well, originally, Luke was supposed to be turned into the dark side, just like his father. So if they went with this, like,
I don't see the thing is that I don't think Luke would have ever turned to the dark side, because he was strong enough to resist Darth Vader and try to pull him to the light.
But that was just the original story. They didn't go with that. But originally, the script did have him turn into the dark side, and it was going to end with the dark side winning. But you know, in that time they were like, "Nah, let's not do that. Let's give him the happy ending." So if they did it now,
the Sam and Louise ending,
Kylo Ren. Yes.
Do that.
Like if they did it with Kylo Ren, and you know,
let's just keep going, Poe.
Being in the dark side, that'd be pretty sick. I'd like that. I actually like Kylo Ren a lot. I wouldn't mind him coming out.
Me too.
You know,
I think he's.
I wouldn't mind him coming out Victorian.
Dude, me either. Kylo Ren. Okay, his only flaw is that he
emotional,
and he taunts, or he not taunts. He throws fits, basically. So
tantrums,
landmines. so that's his only flaw, is that he throws tantrums and he gets like really bitchy. But who else takes a fucking blaster to the pelvis and then keeps fighting? You know what I mean? Like, and hitting himself.
Oh yeah, that too. And who else fucking stops a fucking laser like mid-air, like laser bullet, whatever you want to call it, mid-air, and still has a conversation like it's nothing.
And then doesn't let it go until everything.
JJ Abrams Kylo version, because this is all Kylo from JJ Abrams.
Before he took his shirt off.
But the Last Jedi Kylo, I did not like Kylo. I like him. He's still great, but I felt like
dude, like seriously.
Part 2, he just, the directing wasn't all there. I felt like they could have reshot some shots. When you guys were talking about him being emotional, he kind of was a little too emotional. I kind of was like.
See, him being emotional in the first movie, when Rey gets out, that's understandable. I can live with that.
Yeah.
This one, it's just like, I didn't get my toy, so I'm gonna yell at you. Like, yes. That's how I felt.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then I thought it was maybe the actor, like, but no, dude, like, fucking dude, Logan Lucky, Black Klansman, dude, that guy's a phenomenal actor. He's great. And the Last Jedi, like that, he acted Kylo Ren really good. I just didn't like Kylo in part 2. He was just too much of a baby.
The scene where Kylo Ren felt like Kylo Ren was the throne room until he gives his hand to Rey to like join him.
Yeah, and that was the ending.
Yeah, like that was. But for me, that's probably the best scene in Last Jedi. That's the only part I really enjoyed.
Yeah. The whole movie, I was just like sitting there, kind of just like relaxing, not even really caring. And then, you know, like, just like that was the whole movie, you know, like nothing. Fight scene, you get super hype, and then you see all this craziness happen, and then it's nothing again. And that was just a disappointment.
And then Rey's making some huge like rocks that look super CG, like float.
And just please go back and just delete the Canto Bite scene. That Canto Bite scene was pointless.
Their training was such ass. Like, the explanation was out of the movie. Pretty much just that there hasn't been a Jedi or Sith in such a long time. They just had this ultimate power given to them. It's just like, but how did they learn to wield that power? You know what I mean? Like, a montage is literally like span of like 2 days. Like,
we're gonna need a montage.
Montage. Yeah, dude, I didn't like that.
Me either. Nobody liked that. I didn't even like that in the first Force Awakens movie.
Oh, our hands touched, but
able to do everything.
Our hands touched, so I know everything. It's like, your hands touched in your mind because you weren't really there.
This isn't a PG-13 movie. This is Star Wars.
This isn't Twilight, guys.
I'll tell you this though, I didn't dislike it enough to go protest Han Solo. You know, like.
Oh no, Han Solo was amazing.
Yeah, I didn't dislike it enough for that. I just didn't like.
It wasn't amazing, but it was actually enjoyable.
Okay, maybe I'm saying
I'm
amazing.
So down to watch Star Wars.
Maybe I'm saying it was so amazing because I was so disappointed with The Last Jedi, and I just assumed that this was going to suck too. But in my eyes, seeing it, I only watched it once, but I really enjoyed myself. But my expectations were like negative 82. So.
And you know what? And Donald Glover did a really good performance as Lando.
He really did. I think he was like one of the best parts about it. Was he in love with that? Never mind.
Dude,
never mind.
I was about to bring it up. It's like,
can we talk about it?
Let's talk about it. Fuck it. I mean,
all right. Was he in love with that robot?
Wait, is she a fleshlight? Like, I mean,
because seriously, like he was more like sad about that than like anything. I mean, obviously like with those droids, they have their own personality, so you're gonna be attached. But like when K2SO died, you know, you saw reactions from everybody that was in the room with it, or like was witnessing it. You saw reactions from everybody. You saw it from Jin. You saw it from what's his name?
Yeah.
How did I?
Is that the first movie or first like when we see affection between an AI and a?
I wonder if the Ligma kick is a back roll.
No.
Sorry, my bad.
Have we seen that before?
AI?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the kid from The Sixth Sense.
Wait, what? What are we talking about? Sorry, I got so.
No, it's in Star Wars movies. Have we ever seen another AI?
Oh.
You know, or is that the first time Lando and the AI? Because if so,
I guess so.
This is a prequel movie. Like we haven't seen it.
Yeah, I mean, like if he was like legit in love with her, like not as like a friendly way, not in a platonic way, then yes. But like as in like a friend way, then no, because there's R2D2 and C3PO, and then obviously K2SO, who was honestly K2SO is my favorite android.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, he is.
I find that answer very inconvincing.
You know who does his voice?
Rogue One though.
Freaking Steve the Pirate.
Yeah. When I found that out, I could not stop laughing. It was amazing.
He does the voice also of what's his name? Have some candy.
What?
From Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie in ages. Pretty much like since it came out.
Basically.
But yeah, like that. I think that was the first time that we ever saw that kind of love between a droid and a person, or.
Yeah, because you know Anakin had R2, and it was a friendship, but it wasn't like romantic.
Yeah, and then he literally built C3PO, so that was like more like his son, if anything. I'm just kidding, but like still his friend.
It was definitely his spy.
Yeah, but
back to 9.
Back to 9.
Back to
that took a weird turn.
We went from like talking like serious stories to like sexual relations with the robot.
I mean, we're nerds, so that's usually where it goes.
That is true.
Yeah. I mean, we have to know these questions. Like, we have to know.
Here's what I'm thinking with the continuation of the Star Wars. I think if they haven't told Snoke's story, then by now, then they should probably just like leave it out. Even though we really want to know it, but they should just leave it out.
Or like I said, like with the part 1, part 2, I think they might be rewriting their wrongs in part 1, and then part 2 will be their actual, their third movie.
But do you still call it? Do you still call it Episode 9 though?
Yes, because then that would kind of hold, the part threes. One got split into 2, but it kind of is still part 9. Because if you buy it, if you get both part 1 and part 2, it would connect as one big ass movie, as a part 9. You get me?
Well, I mean, the whole.
Although I don't agree.
This whole new series should connect as one.
I'm not a fan of part 1, part 2 movies in the past. The Hobbit, I think, right, and Mockingbird. I don't think those deserve the part 1, part 2 like that. And like, think of this: Infinity War was gonna make a part 1, part 2, and the ending, the whole ending was gonna be saved for part 2, right? And just think of that would have ruined Infinity War part 1, right? If we didn't get that ending the way it ended, that would have ruined that whole movie. So if we see part 2, then we kind of were like, what the fuck did we see part 1 then? Like, I don't know. I just feel like part 1 and part 2 just don't ever work out. I feel like it's just a waste of time and like.
But at the same time, how do you?
Waiting.
Yeah, but at the same time, how do you fit so much information into one movie?
You make them volumes. Kill Bill Volume 1. Kill Bill. I'm just like, no, but like,
the same shit.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
I know. I'm just.
It's not the same if it's a volume.
Yeah, you make it a volume. You see, because like you have a volume disc 1, volume disc 2. It's separate parts. So like, I'm like,
but you might as well make it a greatest hits.
Just hit the major plot points is what you're saying.
A jam pack. Demos.
No, but I really do feel like they shouldn't go with the part 1, part 2. Like that just ruined the movie.
Okay, if they were to say if they were to say this is going to be the longest movie in history, let's say it comes out to 3.5 hours, are you willing to sit through it?
Yes.
No. What they got? Yes, but what they got to do is intervention, right? Or what is it called? Where like
intermission.
You watch some. Yeah, intermission. So like intermission, they have to like,
an intervention.
Fucking imagine, like midway through the movies, it just turns black, and then you see Captain America come out with that stupid chair, and be like, "So you've been sitting here for 2.5 hours already. I'm disappointed in you."
Fags, big fags. That'd be hysterical. I love it. Big old Cap America.
3.5 hours. I could do it. I've watched the entire Lord of the Rings series in one sitting.
Right? Okay. See, I'm with you there. I've done it.
Been there, done that.
Yep. I wouldn't be too bad. 3.5 hours, because even Infinity War, like 2 hours, more than 2 hours, and I was still like, I still wanted.
Because there's movies that are there's movies out there that can be like 3 hours long, but because
it has to be great if it's gonna be 3 hours and 30 minutes. It can't be none of this like cat and mouse bullshit throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, it can't be
storytelling, character development.
It can't be Attack of the Clones where the first half of the movie is all Senate talking and all this like.
Dude, seriously.
Yeah, when I mean character development, I don't mean also just that. Like, I mean like some real passionate like conversations between characters and growth. At the end of the combos, and like you have to side with people. Like, damn, that guy, he's speaking some truth. That person has this other reasons. You get me? Like,
right?
They had to have us like.
Right, because see, you bring up a good point, because I know I'm gonna get off topic here, but Infinity War did one thing right. Well, I mean, they did a lot of things right, but one of the things they did especially right is that Thanos gives his point of view of why he's doing this stuff, and it actually makes you be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he does it amazingly.
And
the way that they delivered this was just like, you see it from both sides, but like this time I was kind of rooting for Thanos. Like I wanted him to win.
I mean, he didn't gotta do my boy Spidey like that, but like.
Oh God! Well, it's got to be equal.
Oh, you mean Gamora, right?
Fuck.
Spidey, he didn't know Spidey.
I mean, Gray's got a point there,
Yeah.
I mean, he actually knew Gamora. Like, he loved Gamora, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, little one. I'm sorry.
Dude, big fan. Dude, when he did that, I was kind of like, damn, dude, like this guy really, like, he's driven, dude. Like,
he just did
I'm
that.
Not gonna kill your, don't kill your kids if you're driven by something. Like, fuck, is this guy driven? Like, he really wanted this. He really wanted to accomplish this. Like,
he legit was like that Lion King video where it's reimagined and he has like Simba in his hands and he just like threw him over that rock. That was
Dude,
Thanos.
okay. Seriously, and that's why I want to feel with Kylo or with fucking Snort whenever they bring him back.
Snore.
Snarf. Snarf.
But no, really, I really want to feel like that with Kylo Ren because when he killed his mother, I kind of was just like, "Oh, you're a fucking dick, dude." And then he's like crying about it, and I was just like, "Oh man, what do you want, dude? Like, because I'm confused of what the hell you want. So what do you want? You know, you get me? Like, I just really hope they rewrite all this bullshit because I thought he really wanted this when he killed Han. You know?
Right.
But then there was that whole theory. There was that whole theory that Han did it himself. So if Han really did do it himself, then it just goes to show you that he's struggling more and more with the light side and the dark side and just being conflicted with that. If it's true, if that theory is true.
Yeah.
See, that's why I love that scene when he's talking to him and he's like looking into like Han Solo's face and he's just like, am I being torn apart? Like, because he just can't make up his mind. And I think
that theory does make a lot of sense because in part 2, because you know the Last Jedi, because he's still going through it and he does it to his mother. So it's kind of like, it's like I love all the fan theories. I fucking love this, but then it kind of fucks up with some of the writing with now when they come out with it. But then again, they fucked it up themselves when he had to face it again with his mother, and then he starts backpedaling a lot and fast and bitching. You know, and I was just like.
Well, that just brings it back to the Han Solo thing. That if it really was Han Solo, then exactly. Like this time, it's like it's literally like him or nobody. Like it's not Leia being like.
And that's why, and that's why I'm saying I love the fan theories, but then again, it's like I need them to confirm this, and hopefully they you know lead into it rather than just leaving us in the dark and like, well, we don't really know where we're going with it because part 3's not written yet, so we're not too sure. Just hold up for us, guys. Part 3 is going to be written now pretty soon. Part 1, part 2 now. You get me? Like, I just feel like they shouldn't have just kept us in the dark because they don't even know.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess, yeah. But one thing I also want to get into with you guys, since I didn't even realize that we were already 43 minutes in, but
holy crap!
One of the things I wanted to get into with you guys is character development. Like something I wanted to get into, like that Last Jedi kind of fucked up with me. Is Finn, because Finn, I feel he's deserving of a greater purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that they just ruined it, especially with that whole Canto Bight scene.
Yes.
Okay, if you're watching The Force Awakens, okay, watch that scene. Watch the scene where Starkiller Base blows up the Senate and all those planets. Finn is looking up to the sky, and there's screaming going off in his ears. Like he can hear screaming. You look around, nobody's screaming. Everybody's just looking into the sky. But Finn was able to hear the people and the cries. So like he has to have some sort of force ability. Especially because they don't show it, but they say that he was like the best in his class.
Yeah.
And he couldn't kill for them on his first mission.
That was one of the things that I really wish they would have put in The Force Awakens was the whole scene where he was like the best in his class. You know, like where they tell you more about him, because they kind of just throw you in there where he just like betrays them, and it's like, well, why is he betraying them? You know, like all of a sudden, and then you find out later in the movie that he was just, you know, like another kid that was stolen from his family and everything like that. But like, the whole. Like, I was, even in The Force Awakens, like, I was thinking, like, why do they care so much about one person? You know? Like, and then, but then when I found out about that whole scene and how he was the best in his class and like, best shooter, whatever, anything like that, then I was like, oh, no wonder, because he's of great use to them. So if they would have put that in there, then you would have realized his full potential. But because they didn't do that, it was just, you know, like, they don't even mention that he's like the greatest shooter or anything like that in the movie. So you're just thinking he's just some random dude.
That's why. See that it gives it a deeper feeling when he does that. First, when he does the first fight with that stormtrooper that calls him a traitor, and then when Kylo Ren just screams it at him, traitor! Like you like holy shit! Like this dude actually has a purpose, and he was expected for so much more. But he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would have been something I would have liked to see too. Just like since Kylo Ren like seemed to be so like hurt by him being a traitor, like it makes me wonder like did they have more of a background or something, or like was he like one of the ones training?
It makes me wonder that too. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
That scream was fucking passionate, dude. And like you said, dude, Kylo Ren, The Force Awakens, sexy as fuck. Kylo Ren, Last Jedi, I don't know what the fuck happened to you.
He seems like that. Like he seems like that kid you know in your class who like is like super rich, gets whatever he wants, and then like he tries to hang out with like the nerds because he thinks they're cool, and they're just like whatever about him, and then he's upset about it, you know?
Yeah, like, dude, I really did not like how the directing allowed this for him to come on screen like that, dude.
Yeah, really he's like IROC from Ready Player One, but IROC from Ready Player One in the book, because in IROC in the book is exactly how I explained. He's that rich kid who has all the money and he tries to hang out with the two nerds, and then like once they shut him down and shut him out and whatever like that, he like throws a fit and like he's like, well, I'm the rich one, and then whatever. So that's like in my mind that's like how Kylo Ren is portrayed in The Last Jedi, when in Force Awakens he was like, you know, like so that's how I see him. But you know, like I feel like if Finn was just like a nobody, like stormtrooper, he would have just like walked past him and then like, you know, like walk past him and just do like a quick he would kill him, you know, like
he would have been disposable.
Yeah, that's all that stormtroopers are. They're disposable, you know, like.
So I was just thinking, what if all these theories that are going about and everything we've been talking, what if in the long run, after they're done, right, with all the episodes, part 1, you know, if they go all the way up to Split Part 9, what if then later they come out with their Star Wars animated show, a new one with this generation now, and then in those cartoons,
kind of like the Animatrix.
Yeah, they start blending in those theories that we wanted to see. And they're just playing this long game, waiting, you know.
That's basically what happened with the Clone Wars.
How do you guys feel that happened? Yeah, exactly.
It was like a fill in the gap.
They've already done it. Yeah, they've already done it before, because we saw Darth Maul on a lot of those. So it's like, what if this happens now with this, and we have, you know, all these theories that we've been talking about on this, you know, if they do that.
Yeah.
Which, I think that might be possible. We got to start trademarking.
Well, because they did announce that new anime show. They announced it, and it's gonna be in the style of Japanese anime. And I saw like a little tidbit of what they plan to do with it, and it looks fucking amazing.
Please give us something amazing. They gotta do it. They gotta do it.
If they gave us some good series.
It would be great if they can give us the voice actors too, of the actual characters.
That would be cool. But they gotta do it like they did with Samurai Jack, you know, like end it, like bring it back years after it was done, and then just put it on Adult Swim so it could be all gory and like better.
Seriously.
I don't know, but I mean, there is that new Star Wars show coming out, and it's going to be directed by John. I can't pronounce his last name. Favreau. He's the director of Jungle Book. He's doing Lion King. And he plays Happy Hogan in
Oh, Jon Favreau.
Favreau.
Landmine.
Didn't he direct Iron Man?
Yeah, he did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he
the
just
first
started,
one.
He came out in it too, right?
Yeah, he plays Happy. He plays Happy Hogan. Yeah.
He's Iron Man's bodyguard. Yeah, that dude, that guy's a great director.
So he gets his own series too, and. Well, it's not a series. He's
live action, right?
Live action show, yeah. See, that would be so great, man. The only thing is, it's probably going to be on the on Disney's streaming service, which that alone would get me to get it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's more money, and I'm cheap.
But then again, you can always cancel your Netflix, because Netflix, the majority of Netflix is things from ABC and all these other companies that Disney itself owns.
Well, the thing is, I don't pay for the Netflix.
You don't even have to worry about it. You don't even have to worry about it.
I don't even pay for the Hulu.
See, that's the thing. I do the Hulu. My sister does the Netflix, and we share. So, I mean...
Yeah, my mom does the Netflix. Darlene does the Hulu. I should probably do it.
Nah.
You should do the Disney one.
Tell your sister to cancel that Hulu. I'll do the Hulu for us. And tell her to get HBO for us. And then, no, we'll have 3.
I got HBO.
What the fuck?
But there's no HBO.
But there's no HBO. Exactly what Gray Fox is. See, okay, all right. Let's get back.
Cinemax.
Let's get back to it. Back to Star Wars. Okay, so we talked about Kylo. We talked about Rey. I mean, not Rey. We talked about Finn. Where do you see Rey? What happens with Rey? Exactly.
I can't see with her being where they took her with the Last Jedi. It's like, do I care about Rey now? Like, do I care enough?
She obviously knows everything she needs to know about Jedi training already. So how much more can they do with her?
This is how you make me care for someone, I guess. If you give her some real troublesome to face, you know, like some real like she has to face like some dark side issues. Like, fuck, maybe she is gonna start turning into the dark side. Maybe throughout the movie,
did, though.
I'll be like,
she went into that cave without resisting.
But it was
she snapped.
That movie was so ass that like when that happened, like the hit or miss. You know what I mean? Like she went into a cave and she walked out. It was like she has to see some like real. I don't know. What do they need to show us?
It reminds me of this when Milhouse shows Bart the cave. This is where I come to cry. It's like nothing happened. Okay, she wanted to see her parents, but all she got was herself saying, "You know what? You don't need them.
You're a fucking nobody." So, like, now that they told me she's a fucking nobody, now I'm going to treat her like a fucking nobody. I'm just kidding.
She went into the Cave of Hopes and Dreams.
The Cave of Wonders and...
the Caves of Hopes and Dreams.
And came out with more wonders.
There were nobody.
I don't know,
There
dude.
were filthy junk traders.
I would honestly love it if she became full-on dark side, dude. I wouldn't mind it. If she stayed full-on Jedi, then I want her to be greater than Luke. And I don't see that happening. Being greater than Luke. Who's gonna be better, greater than Luke? You know, like Luke is such a great Jedi. Like I don't see Rey doing that in one movie.
But the thing is, with Luke, you spent 3 movies watching him train and grow and become an adult and all this other shit, and you don't really get any of that.
Hand chopped off.
and we already missed that part 2 moment with Rey. All we got was the montage and the fucking cave. We didn't really get to see much growth and much, you know, like. It was exactly that, dude.
It just, I don't see, with Luke, with Anakin, you never saw them be able to use the Force ever until they started getting training, you know? When she finds out she has the Force, she's just able to use it like that? Like, that's not how it works.
All of a sudden she knows about Jedi mind tricks?
Yeah, like, how is it, like, I understand that Kylo was struggling with the light and the dark and being torn and everything like that, but with his power...
I like Kylo so much. They invested so much story into him.
Mm-hmm.
But Rey, it wasn't that much storytelling. You know, although
I mean, they said that they were going to give her an even obvious name, like when they first wrote her, but they didn't. They ended up changing her name. One of the things, though, is they made us believe that she was going to be something, especially against Force Awakens again, when one of the officers tells Kylo Ren he ran off with the girl, and he force grabs her and grabs him to him and says, "What girl?" Like so mad. You made it believe that Kylo Ren knows her somehow, that she's somebody, and then to give us this whole, I don't even know the term that they use for it. Basically, she thinks she's nothing.
She's got to be something to him.
Yeah.
If they made you feel that he did know her, she's got to be something to him. Yeah. But at the same time, they could just be like messing with us, you know, like maybe just to like get us thinking with all like the theories and everything like that. Maybe like J.J. Abrams is like, oh, let me mess with them really quick, get out some fan theories, and then he already has a story written. He just picks one,
right?
You know. But then it switched to Rian Johnson, and then we got nothing that we wanted at all.
Yeah,
and
I hate that they did that. Honestly, the whole like Like, because they backpedaled just by bringing JJ back, you know? Like, that's just a bad sign on your guys' like whole fuck up.
If that was the case, JJ should have done all three.
Yeah, he should have. But I do apologize, guys. I do have to get going. Thank you for having me on your guys' episode. This was a great topic, great conversation. Great out. Love you guys. Peace out, guys.
Bye.
Peace out, dude. But I agree.
Yeah, me too. I agree a whole lot. It's just like when you guys said earlier that they didn't have like a whole plan for this in mind. What were they thinking? Like, seriously, like, this isn't a Studio Ghibli movie where you just kind of sit down and then write the story and the movie as it goes, you know? Like, that's how they do it. That's not how you do it with Star Wars. You have a plan, you know? Like, George Lucas always had a plan with the Star Wars story, and they just... Well, like, really, what were they thinking? They had J.J. Abrams start a movie, and then, you know, switch it to a completely different director, different writer, whatever, and it's like, how... What if J.J. Abrams had a whole story in mind, and then it just got completely changed?
He had to have a whole story in mind. He came up with some great characters and character development, and he made you. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they brought.
He got you invested.
There's so many theorists out there because of it. And then when we got Last Jedi, where we thought we'd get answers, we got nothing.
Seriously, and it's just. Ugh. Which is really just like, which is why I'm like, whatever about like 9 and whatever's gonna come after that, like if it's gonna be a 2-parter or whatever, because it's like, how you're really gonna have to backtrack with that, because there's no picking up where you left off when you didn't leap from anywhere. You know, like, they had a movie, Force Awakens, which like, they could have started off from wherever that ended and then kept going with something, but then it was just something that didn't really matter. They could have put that entire movie into a space crawl, you know, like the space crawl. What is it called when the beginning of the movie, how it explains what happened?
The crawl.
The crawl, yeah. They could have put that in the crawl of the next movie. The whole entire movie of The Last Jedi could have been the crawl of The Last Jedi, and nobody would have bat an eye. And then they could have continued with a different, better story than The Last Jedi.
That is true. It could have just said it could have just said that fucking. Why am I drawing a blank? See, this is how bad I've been left. The First Order. Okay, it could have just said in the crawl, First Order has been chasing this and has gained the ability to track them through light speed, and I don't even know why the introduction of Rose was given. It's like he slept with her and he owed her a favor. It just...
Dude, seriously, like, that entire movie was just a crawl to me. Like, it was completely pointless, you know? Like, Benicio del Toro's character was pointless.
The original Darth Maul.
Yes. Sure.
Oh, he was the original Darth Maul.
It could have been a crawl. Was he?
Yeah, he was the original Darth Maul, but he got, like, the majority of his lines cut, so he was like, I'm out.
Oh, lame.
Yeah, but I mean, his new character, DJ, it just so unnecessary.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously unnecessary.
That's why I did the little stutter.
I know, I heard, but like, he was completely unnecessary, and that whole scene was unnecessary. And, you know, like, it's just... They didn't have to introduce Rose, and if they did, they could have given her more background. You know, she just seemed like kind of whiny to me. Is that mean to say?
It's not mean to say, because it's honest. Like, I don't like this because they're mistreating animals. Like, there's planets of slave children. You were okay about you were okay freeing the animals. Okay, we did it. We can go. There's children still in cages, you bitch.
Dude, serious. She was like more concerned about the freaking animals than like the children.
The freaking hybrid. Those things look like a person fucked a camel.
But yeah, like I said, Last Jedi could have been a crawl. You know, they could have cut. They could have cut so much time. You know, they could have just explained what happened with. You know, I'm not even gonna say that. Like, I was gonna say, like, you know, like they explain the whole General Halto thing, but if like they introduce her and then they take her out, like, what's the point of making her Laura Dern? Man, I love Laura Dern. You know, like, if you're gonna have somebody that big be in a movie and you give her that kind of background where like she's kind of taking over for somebody like that, then give her a bigger role. Like, she could have been the person that took over for Carrie Fisher, you know, like taking Princess Leia's position and everything like that. But it's just like, since they didn't do that, if it were to be in the crawl, they wouldn't even have to mention that, you know. Like, it's
and it's one of the things with her character that pissed me off, though. Is like, why keep the plan a secret? Okay, you were gonna let them escape while they in the little pods while they were still tracking you.
She could have saved herself the trouble of having to deal with Poe Dameron.
Like, with the mutiny and that.
I did see though that she was in an interview and it was like, oh, I couldn't help myself make the pew pew sounds when she was shooting the gun.
Yeah, and you can see it in her lips too.
Pew pew pew.
Like when she holds up her thing and she shoots, she actually like mouths pew. I was like, oh my god. I don't know, man, but this my take. Here's my take. It's shit. I'm just kidding though. I want. Okay, so it's J.J. Abrams directing, so it's gonna be a lot deeper in story. It has to be, because J.J. gets so invested in his stories. Like, look at Lost, you know, like that was such a great show, and it was a mindfuck, and that's what he has to do to bring Star Wars back to its greatness, is just give us a huge mindfuck.
That's true, but they backtracked him so much. They didn't answer They didn't answer anything in The Last Jedi. You know, they had so much opportunity to answer everything, and they didn't do that. They didn't even do that. Mm-mm. I mean, I guess you can say that they answered like who Rey's parents were, but you know, like it wasn't.
We don't even know that's a definitive answer, because he can always just backtrack that too and be like, you know, maybe it was Kylo suppressing it from her mind, you know, or who knows what, because maybe she got her mind erased, all Men in Black. You know, we don't know.
That's true. Maybe that's what the cave was, just a Men in Black thing. And then she goes back and like that shadow comes in and it's just like, just kidding.
Right.
This is your parents.
It's gonna be like, just kidding. But I don't know. I was so hoping that she was either a descendant from Palpatine somehow, or she's a Kenobi, and it just.
That would be a really good story too, because with the whole Kenobi story of how like he had a love of his life, but he never got with her. You know, like it could be just one of those things like where they had one night together, you know, right. And that could have been it. But if
she was killed,
she was, but say like she does end up having a daughter, and for like her safety or something like that, she just does, you know, like a
Superman thing. She ships her away.
Yeah, pretty much. But if that were to happen, then that kid would be around the same age as Anakin and Leia, or not Anakin, Luke and Leia, because that was like his younger years, right?
Yes. So what could have happened is that he had a love, they had a kid, she never mentioned it to him. Then that kid had a kid, and that kid would be the age of Rey. So a
granddaughter.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because why the fuck else would you give us that little teaser when she touches a lightsaber, and you hear his voice.
Yeah.
And it's Alex Guinness's voice first saying Rey, and then you hear like, these are your first steps, whispered by Ewan McGregor here. And it's like, like, why are you saying that? Like, it's either because she was an infant and you're talking to her, or you're sending a message like, these are your first steps. Like, these are the steps you need to take.
Yeah, I get that, but maybe like the lightsaber is taking on the memories of like Anakin and everything like that. So when she touched it, she was getting like all of his memories from when he was like training and everything like that. But who knows? Like maybe that's the way that J.J. Abrams was going with like the whole lightsaber thing. And like if she isn't like,
but if it's memories, why say her name?
That's true. You're right.
That's a good point. Because I mean, I could understand these are your first steps. Maybe it's reflecting when he was a Padawan and he had to take on the role of master for Anakin and said these are your first steps and he trains them. That would make sense if he would have just said that. But you hear Obi-Wan say Rey. Why?
Force Ghost.
Maybe.
No?
It could. I don't know.
I mean, it honestly, with the Star Wars thing, you can like take... It's like a string and then you just take it to one thing. It's like that meme with Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia when he's like this conspiracy thing.
Oh, and he just like has all these strings attached and he's all wired out.
Yeah, like that's how Star Wars is. You could take it anywhere, like just string everywhere. It could be completely anything, and that's what they're trying to do with it. You know, like they're taking it away from the Skywalker lineage. You know, do you think they're gonna take it into a Kenobi lineage instead?
I would have loved for them to finish the Skywalker lineage and end it with Kenobi.
How? Like, how would you have them end it with the lineage and then start with Kenobi?
If Rey was a Kenobi from like a descendant of Kenobi, you know, she's carrying the Kenobi blood. It would end with the person who trained Luke. Okay, so because it would send the story backwards, where you go from Kenobi, you know, showing Luke and Kenobi fading away, to now the Skywalker lineage fading away and the Kenobi living.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a really good point, actually. It's they would have to answer that. I mean, like I said, with the whole like answering her parents, it didn't really answer. You said it didn't really answer it, and you're right. It didn't really answer. But if it is true that her parents were just like junk traders or whatever the fuck, then what do you think?
I'm telling you, I'm gonna say this one thing. We don't know. We do not know for a damn thing what Ben Kenobi was doing on Tatooine as he was old.
Which is why we need the Kenobi movie. We need a Kenobi movie.
Yeah, but people were so bitchy about Last Jedi that they protested Solo, which now canceled our Kenobi movie.
But it was good.
It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
It was good. Don't hate on it.
I'm not. I legitimately I went to the movies, and I watched it with my brother, and we both came out of there like, holy crap! All right.
Holding hands. Just kidding.
Yeah,
it was definitely I think my expectations now for are like, I think it's so amazing. Like I said earlier, it's so amazing to me because I had my expectations like below
to the ground, under the ground.
Yeah. It was my expectations were 6 feet under.
My expectations were like skyrocketed for Last Jedi, and
well, that's why my expectations were super low for Solo.
Yeah, I get where you came from. Holy crap, where are you going?
We're almost on 2 hours, huh? Or like
we're barely at an hour or something.
Oh, okay.
Well,
that's not so bad. But it sucks that we have to support the movies that suck in order to get the movies that we've been wanting forever.
I mean, we don't have to support them, but I mean, like they weren't necessary.
They weren't necessary, but you kind of do, because if obviously with The Last Jedi, people protested Han Solo, and nobody wanted Han Solo, and because nobody wanted Han Solo, nobody went to see it. So now we're not getting a Kenobi. Nobody watched Han Solo.
But we want the Kenobi.
We've been asking for the Kenobi, but you know, like they want to build it up. So like they want to build up everything before Kenobi. You know, like not saying that Han Solo came before Kenobi or anything like that, but what I'm saying is like they want to they want to bring out everything before Kenobi so they can make $1. You know, like after Kenobi comes out, like say Kenobi came out before Han Solo, would you go see Han Solo?
Probably, yeah, because let's say it did really well, then our expectations again would be, you know, ready for
Well,
it.
yeah, that's true, but nobody wanted a Han Solo movie, and everybody wants the Kenobi movie, so it's really like
everybody wants a Kenobi movie, and then they wanted to make a freaking Boba Fett movie, which I don't want. I could care less for.
True. I mean, that would be like really cool, but like you gotta make it like R-rated.
How you gonna make me care for a bounty hunter who caught
really
Han Solo and turned him into carbonite?
Everything leading up to that, from the moment you see him as a clone to when he catches Solo. No, dude, that's just honestly like my thing. They're trying to make like every buck they can, and then they're gonna give us what we want. They want to see how it does before they give us what we want. Even though we've been shouting it from like the highest tower and whatever, like we like. It's like that other meme where it's like Disney's in the consecutive room and they're all like, "What movie should we come out with next?" And it's like the smart guy who is like, "Oh, what if we come out with a movie?" And they all look at him and they toss him out the window. You know, like that's what they're doing with the whole Kenobi movie, and they need to make up their minds before Ewan McGregor gets too old.
But even if he gets too old, he'd still be the perfect fit.
Yeah, he would. But I think they're just trying to make whatever buck they can to see if it's worth it. But obviously, we want it.
It's so worth it, Disney. Come on.
They're teasing us.
They really are.
They just keep teasing us. They want to keep teasing us so that, like, when it comes out, it's like, oh my god, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here. And, like, it completely sells out for, like, weeks on end. You know, like that's what they want.
Yeah.
Bastards.
I don't know, man. Episode 9 being split into 2 is already changing the formula, which kind of makes me uncomfortable, but it could be necessary. The thing is,
I think it is necessary, though.
Obviously it's going to end in a cliffhanger. It has to.
Well,
but
yeah.
I don't want it to end in a cliffhanger, like Rey holding the lightsaber and then coming back to it and he just throws it. That was so horrible.
Really was.
I did not like that one bit. I was like, what the fuck was the point?
Seriously, they hyped up that ending so much. They like circled them like just staring at each other like 3 times. You don't circle that many times if it's not important.
And the fact that at that moment it looked like there was a headstone next to Luke.
Oh.
I don't know, man, but I mean, Mark Hamill, he is confirmed. We don't know if it's going to be a Force ghost or did he just transport? Did he figure out how to move between time and space?
Who knows? I think.
Or maybe old Luke was what if the old Luke that they saw at that island, what if that was the fake one, the hologram?
Could be. That's another thing I didn't like about The Last Jedi is how like he's like, I'm finally like the whole movie he doesn't want to train Rey. He's like, I'm not training you, I'm not training you, I'm not training you. Okay, I'll train you. Dies.
Even Yoda came back in the second movie after training him and was like, I am time to go. Like, okay. Then, okay, yeah, you trained him at least, you know, but...
Yeah.
Well, Luke didn't want to do anything. You were basically waving a lightsaber by yourself and he was watching you make a fool.
Seriously.
I don't know.
Just drinking blue milk.
Big fucking sea cow titty milk.
So that's where it came from.
Right? And like she's watching the milk get squirted out and it's not until she makes eye contact with the animal she looks away.
That's like the only thing they answered in The Last Jedi.
Where the milk comes from.
But like,
I don't know.
maybe he'll come back as a Force ghost and teach her how to be a Force user. And then maybe it'll go wrong and she'll turn to the dark side. And then Kylo Ren will be like, oh, no, I'm going to go to the light side. And then he goes to the light side.
So here's another thing that I didn't get to get into when with Gray was here, but there have been talks about so you have the dark side and you have the light, but what happens when they meet in the light in the middle?
You get Mace Windu.
You get the purple lightsaber, but
it's the one that says "bad motherfucker" on it.
But see, that's the thing. Okay, Mace Windu, I feel he was underused. He probably had the best balance of the dark and the light. Maybe that's exactly why his crystal was purple. I don't know, but
yeah, I think it wasn't confirmed, but it was like a
big theory, right?
It was a big theory that he uses both of the dark and the light, and like blue and red make purple. So, I mean, that's why a lot of people were thinking it, because most lightsabers were blue.
See, but then there's also the term gray Jedi, and if you're in between between the dark and the light, there's that gray space. Maybe that's why they came up with the gray Jedi theory. And if you're gonna do something like that, okay, yeah, I'll see Rey as the balance, neither dark or light, just being able to balance it.
So what you're saying is she's the Avatar.
Didn't want it to come to that, but
that's what the Avatar was. He was the master of all, so he was the balance between them all. He couldn't choose, like, oh, we're going to war. I grew up in the Air Nation, so that's what I'm gonna be. Like, it was never that. That was like the whole issue with like the whole Avatar thing and Avatar Roku and his best friend. He was Fire Nation, and the whole reason why the Fire Nation took over was because like the Fire Nation leader or whatever was trying to take over. And then because he was best friends with the Avatar, he tried to get the Avatar to be on his side and take over, but the Avatar can't because he's supposed to be equal between all of them. So he's for greater peace. So if that's what she's going to be, then just make her that.
True.
Or not even that. It could be Kylo, because he's been torn for ages now. So what if he's the one in between?
This is true again. See, that brings us back to how can he be the villain, the ultimate villain, and then be brought back to this?
Yeah, so maybe that's why he's so torn, because he doesn't even know like gray Jedi thing, if it does exist. Maybe he feels that way because he doesn't know it exists. So maybe he's freaking out because he thinks, I need to choose this side or I need to choose this side, and he's been like so invested in the dark side already, so he's like, I gotta choose this, but then he still feels the light,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, maybe if he is both, then he could be the hero in the end of this.
But the hero from what, though? That I'm saying, like, who are they trying to defeat and get rid of that Kylo Ren has to like be balanced?
The Sith.
But he is the Sith. There is no other Sith that we know of.
That's true. You're right. So we're getting into like a way different theory.
Basically, the whole it's all a metaphor for fucking like mental health issues. He has to defeat himself.
Plot twist.
Right? I don't know, man. Episode 9, just whatever they come out with, whatever theory, whichever way it goes, it just needs to be great. It needs to have great storytelling and give us answers that we needed, even if it gives them in a wasn't expecting it there kind of way. And damn, this freaking video just gave me advertisements. But but I don't even remember where I was going with it. I just need this to do well. I just want it to do well so that I don't go out saying like majority of my life I like this for them to ruin it, Like I want that redemption. And Star Wars deserves that redemption, man. Look, it's been around since the 70s, and people like just. You've seen
Still love
fanboys.
it.
You've seen fanboys. Like you've seen how much it means to people. Like okay, when in fanboys when he's at the movie premiere, and his brother shows up, he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "Come on, man! It's the wars!" Like,
yeah, seriously.
it's like it just you never would have expected someone to be like that to be into that, but it just means so much to these people that when it happens, we all like gather, and it's just the most amazing thing. And this one needs to reunite us because Last Jedi tore so many of us.
It really did. It really did. Like I've told you this, you know, like when I didn't get to see it the night it premiered, but I knew a friend who did, so I was like, "How was it?" And he was like, "It was the most amazing movie I've ever seen." And I was like, "Okay, answer this one question: do they do Carrie Fisher justice?" And he was like, "They definitely do." And then I watched the movie, and I had a completely different opinion. But at the same time, he was somebody that watched it later in his life. He didn't grow up with it like I did,
right.
Or like you did either. You know, like my stepdad showed me this movie when I was like 6. So I grew up with it. I watched it. I watched it when I was a kid. So I have that nostalgia feeling. And so for them to be changing everything so much, it is going to make people who grew up with it upset.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, you know, you watch the original trilogy and then you watch the prequels and it's like still the same formula, you know, like Skywalker lineage, you know, like nothing's changed. You have to be trained to know how to use the Force, to even know that you have it. You know, you don't even know you have it until some like a Jedi comes to you and I was like, "Oh, you have it." But then like out of nowhere, like you come out with this new Force Awakens new trilogy and everything like that, and they're changing everything, and that's okay. You can change it, but like you gotta put character development, because there really was a lack of character development.
There really was, and just like, why are you trying to develop these characters that we don't need? Like I'm telling you, like, okay, Rose, yes, she's cute. We don't need her. We didn't need her. We didn't need to know.
No, you don't.
We didn't need to know that. Oh, that was my Harry sister, and she carried this necklace and this and that. Like we didn't need that, man. We didn't need that, and it
was unnecessary.
It was unnecessary.
It was, yeah, but I totally get what you mean when you say that it like divided the fans. But they're trying to get into a new generation, so it's like they gotta make it with this younger generation. They gotta make it more interesting to them.
Yeah.
And not like it doesn't matter if it sticks with like the whole formula from before. You know, like they gotta make it so it like pertains to the people of this generation. You know, that's with the new kids and that's with like the older kids too. You know.
Yeah.
Because when I talk to the kids about it at work, they think that The Last Jedi was amazing. And that's exactly what I do.
Because they don't know better. But you're right. I mean, the one thing they need to take away, that they just need to get rid of, is the whole Disney formula. No more jokes. You know, and if they are, have them be subtle, not your mama jokes.
Seriously. That whole, like, banter scene in the beginning of The Last Jedi with Poe Dameron and General Hux. What was that?
Yeah, I did not need that. I didn't need to know. Because now Poe looks like the asshole, you know what I mean?
Now Poe looks like the asshole and General Hux looks like a little bitch.
Basically. And we don't need that. And I didn't need to see General Hux, you know, play the token character that just gets flipped around and thrown over against the wall all the time. Like, I don't need that. Especially after giving us that fucking fierce and scary speech he gives in the Force Awakens.
Yeah, dude. Like, he was intimidating. And then Last Jedi happens. Just like the first, not even 5 minutes, the first 2. And it just gets ruined. Like, you don't see him in the same, like, fierce way that you did before.
You don't respect him at all after that.
No, you don't.
Ah, so gross. Alright. Well, obviously we have so much more to talk about and not enough time, but today has been a great episode. We got into a lot of things. Oh, hey Barry, I'm sorry we're getting to you lately. I'm sorry that we just saw your chat, Barry. You thought The Last Jedi was okay. A lot of people did, okay, and there was a lot of great scenes in it. More than basically just okay. I'll give you two good scenes. Okay, two good scenes. Rey, like, I didn't like the fact that she was fighting Luke, but the fact that she wanted to help Kylo. I like that.
Okay.
Second, I like the throne room scene where they fight all the Praetorian guards.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the greatest scene.
It really was.
But then after they wake up, from the coma, she's gone, and then the movie just gets ruined.
For real.
At least for me. But we are going to be bringing it back to this, Barry. We are trying to do. Yes, they need to kiss already, but we don't know if they're related or not, so that'd be kind of gross. But then again, Leia kissed Luke, and they didn't know.
True.
So incest is okay as long as you don't know.
Just kidding. Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but they're not gonna Disneyfy that.
True. There's no way you can.
So what we're trying to do, Barry, is we want to do segments like this where we take a topic and we just run the whole show through it. So today's topic was Star Wars, and we're gonna have that as a segment be, whether it be weekly, bi-weekly, fucking every 3 weeks. But that's what we want to do, is that we want to gather all this information from these topics and then just shoot it into one episode or one series. But we want to thank you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that sounds like a lot of fun. I want to do that.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to get everybody to do, but our clashing schedules.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Barry, for coming out. Anybody listening, anybody lurking, watching, anything you guys are doing, just thank you guys for being here. It means a lot to us.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, yeah, and tell your friends. Tell your friends, hey, I got these, buddies that do a show. Give them a shot. That's all we ask. So what I will be doing is that we did do this podcast live on Twitch. It is August 14th. It's what, Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. I will be posting this either tonight or it'll be up live tomorrow morning on the 15th on YouTube. So if anybody missed anything, it's going to be on here. It will be on Twitch for past recordings, but you can also find it on YouTube if you don't have if anybody wants to watch it there. Thank you guys so much, so much for sticking around. Once again, I am Ghost.
And I am Crazy Old Maurice.
And this is Nerd Skwaad Presents Talking Star Wars. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.